Hello, hello, welcome. We are here live again. We're here to talk about vintage makeup antiques and stuff, and we have a little bit of a special program today, which we've had requested before that we're very excited about. Welcome again. If you want, put your name and where you're from you don't need to put your name, that comes up automatically. Just put where you're watching from in the comments. If you don't mind, we always think that's fun. And who are we? Well, I'm Amber. I'll be answering any questions you have in the comments. And most importantly, is Gabriela Hernandez. Hooray! Hi, Gabriela.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
So today we had a request before to talk about some of your vintage makeup books. So that's what we are going to be going through today. And these are some really, really interesting ones. And things that are not the easiest to find, stuff you can't find online, and you got to go looking for it. But Gabriela has all of this in her wonderful collection, so that's what we'll be talking about today. And if you have questions, put them in the comments. We will. I'll give them to Gabriela as we go along, and yeah, that's about it. What is the first little vintage treat you have for us today, Gabriela?
Sure. I'm gonna show you a couple of my really old books, and I have a couple of actors' makeup books. The first one here that I'm gonna show you is called the Actors Makeup Helmers Actors Makeup Book.
Yeah.
Um, and this particular book is from 1888. So it's a bit worn, as you
Sure.
can see from it. But it's got some very interesting things. You would think that in 1888 that they would have done things a lot differently, but they go back to very sound and ideas that haven't necessarily been discarded. They go back to measuring the head and how to put on a wig properly, and they go into what's in your makeup box and what should be in your makeup box. Um, and some of the things they mention for your makeup box is obviously a mirror.
Oh, good. Good choice.
Yeah, good choice. Yeah, a brush and a comb, pair of scissors, towels, rags, supply of base makeup like flesh tone colored makeup, uh, grease paints, because that's what they used to use to put on makeup for theater, is different colors of grease paints.
So how is
um,
a grease paint
uh,
different than like the flesh toned foundation or base makeup?
Well, it's basically the same thing.
Oh,
They
okay.
had grease paints that came in what they called lining colors,
Oh.
which were like those like white and rouge colors and browns and dark brown, black,
Hmm.
blue for veins and greens.
Oh.
So those were called lining colors because you could use them as liners or to draw different things on the face.
Yeah.
And then they had flesh colors, which came in a whole variety of colors, like pales and brunettes and darker characters, and all kinds of shades
Hmm.
of colors. So those were two different categories of makeup. And it's interesting because they do have pricing on this. So the lining
Oh.
colors came in 8-inch sticks, and these cost 20 cents a piece. And the flesh colors that also came in the 8-inch sticks cost 35 cents a piece. So your base makeup was already more expensive in 1888,
Yeah.
which is kind
Yeah.
of interesting.
Your foundation's always more expensive.
Yes,
You can't
yeah,
get away from it.
always more expensive, no matter when. Um, the other thing that they used a lot of, and so that you can see that it was still used in 1880s, is what they called water cosmetic at that time. They call it water cosmetic, but it's basically cake mascara. It's water activated, so it was called at the time water cosmetique. That's kind of
Mhm.
what they called it. Instead of mascara, they call it water cosmetique, and it came in different shades. And they had black and brown and gray and auburn and even red it came in. But they use it to paint different things on the face. So but it was water activated, and that's why it was called water cosmetic. Um, then they had nose putties, of course, to do different types of alterations to the face, and uh, crepe hair or wool, which again we still use
For like
to do
beards and
mustaches and beards and sideburns and
oh, that's
things.
cool.
Um, uh, one of more boxes of flesh-colored cream, so different tints of creams, foundation type creams. Um, 2 or 3 hare's feet. So they use the hair,
Like a
the
rabbit's
feet of the
foot.
hare, like a rabbit's foot to actually blend. So it was
Wow.
I guess a rudimentary type of a brush. So it's your 1880s blender.
Wow.
Was a rabbit's
And
foot.
they weren't using like a stuffed rabbit, a cruelty-free one. It was a real deal.
No, that it was a real
Wow.
deal. Yes, yeah. Yeah, I guess it worked
Yeah.
out for I don't know.
I think
Uh,
that's one you probably won't be bringing back, right? Our
no,
our
no,
own
no, no,
rabbit's
no,
foot,
no,
no.
no.
Oof.
1 or 2 powder puffs. So powder. Remember, they had to set all these creams, especially all these kind of heavy grease paints with a lot of powder in order for them not to run on the face. So they use large powder puffs, and they put a lot of powder to set all this makeup. Um, a box of lip rouge. So lip rouge also came that way in a box. A
Oh,
box of dry rouge, which is kind of obviously uh, powder, powder
powder
blush.
blush. Mhm.
Yes. Spirit gum, which is,
Yeah.
we still use spirit gum to glue hair and other things. Uh, uh, a bottle of enamel black, which was used to paint teeth and darken them,
Oh.
which again, it still uses that.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bottle of bear's grease, again, it's a kind of a greasy thing you could use it to take off your makeup, and it's
Oh.
very, very thick.
It's called bear's grease.
Yes,
Huh. What a
yes,
funny little
yes.
term.
And it was rather expensive too, actually. If you look at the bear's grease and that, it wasn't. It was 75 cents. 75
Ooh,
cents
let's see.
for a bottle
Because
of
we
that.
looked it up before, and 25
Yeah.
cents, let's see, 25 cents at the time was
Wow.
worth about like 6.50. So
Yeah.
today, $6.50. So how much would that be? I just always, oh, that's like a $20. Yeah, so that's a
Yeah, so
$20
it's quite
bear grease.
expensive. Yeah, the bear grease was quite expensive, and it probably says in this book how they used it for different things.
Mhm.
2 or more shades of face powder, 2 eyebrow pencils, 2 camel's hair brushes, and 2 leather stumps.
And what
And the
would
stumps
those?
would be, kind of like you use stumps in painting and in drawing to kind of blend
Oh.
things.
Hmm.
You would use it to blend, blend shadows or
Oh.
blend pencils around the eye or other things. So they're blending sticks, basically.
Oh,
Uh,
interesting.
so that was the complete box. So that's kind of what you had to have for as a performer if you were doing Shakespeare plays and other
Hmm.
things in the theater in the 1880s, which
And
was kind of interesting stuff in here.
yeah. And were non-performers wearing any of this kind of stuff, or was this pretty much just for stage performers?
I think a lot of this was for stage performers. I don't
Hmm.
think people actually bought a lot of this kind of thing. You know, it's some of this stuff they use. There was kind of some kind of preparation that, which was that enamel kind of preparation could
Hmm.
also make your teeth really white, so it looks like the person is more handsome or
Oh,
something.
so they just like
So
paint their teeth white, essentially,
I
kind of
guess
a
so.
thing. Oh,
Yes,
wow.
yes, and then you can paint it with the black one to make it look like you're missing teeth.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Hmm.
So it's And then it tells you here, you know, everything, all these things and what you would use them for. So the bear's grease was also used for hair oils and pomade. So it was used on the hair
Oh,
too to style it,
okay.
or on I guess on wigs too. Uh, but you
Yeah,
know,
just an
so
all-purpose grease.
so all purpose like hair oil and pomade, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so there, that's what that. So it tells you everything in here, how to use these things. Uh, the hare's feet were actually used to remove or brush surplus powder from the face, neck, and arms and hands. So there you have it. So it's like a brush, basically.
Yeah.
Uh, so you know, it tells you how to do different types of mouths, different kinds of things, different, uh, you know, how to make somebody thin look like they have more volume by adding
Mm-hmm.
different things. It's like this is kind of a rudimentary picture, but take a look at that. It's kind of
Oh,
funny.
funny.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny looking a picture. There's not a lot of illustrations in there's some, but this one's very interesting here. You can see how they change the man's face
Yeah.
with different makeup here.
Uh-huh.
So it's
That's oh yeah, pretty extreme.
yeah, yeah, but you know,
Extreme.
it obviously it tells you, you know, depending on uh, how far away your audience is, you know, and you know
Oh,
how so how much makeup, you know, if it's a bigger theater that you use more, and smaller one you would use less. So
yeah.
there's some common sense things in here, but there's also some very interesting, you know, like this one is like how to do different looks on for
Oh.
a woman's looking makeup.
Uh, yeah,
And
that,
remember that this at this time women weren't necessarily used for this, so it was a guy that was actually made up to look like a woman. So you
oh,
know, the, how to do like bald heads and middle age and that. So they kind of like go through.
yeah.
It's kind of
Hmm.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, you know, for the period, it's not a bad, you know, a bad thing.
Mm-mm.
It's kind of fun to look at these illustrations.
Yeah. And in the
Yeah.
theater at the time, the actors would have been just doing all of this themselves. Usually, there weren't too
Yes.
many makeup artists, you know,
No, no,
doing it for
no. They,
them.
yeah, no, they wouldn't be any actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was all considered part of the toolkit of the actor is to
Yeah.
be able to do their characters and basically you know, make them up, you know, and then play them. So they
Yeah.
would be responsible for their own wigs and things and all of that. So they would have a nice case. Like the cases look like this over here. So you can see kind of what the makeup case
Oh,
looked like.
yeah.
And then actors would have a case like this and, uh, and take it on their jobs and, you know, and put on their makeup and then remove it and go home. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was part of their, what they needed to know how to do. So
Yeah.
that's why there were a lot of books, if you look on, because this is an actor's makeup book from that period. This is another actor's makeup book that I have, which is a little bit written, obviously a few years after this, because this book is from the 20s,
Oh.
so 1927 is
Oh.
this one. Uh, and it's called The Art of Makeup for Stage and Screen. Uh,
Oh, so it's adding, yeah, already adding film into there, which is interesting.
Yes, yes. So by 19, yeah, by the 1920s, you had screen. You know,
Yeah.
this other one is just theater. So this one is already going into screen. Um, and it's got a bunch of, it's funny because it was written by a man who was a director of makeup for Metro Golden Mayer at the time.
Oh.
So of course he he got in order to sell his book, and he got a lot of actors from the period to endorse him.
Ooh.
So you have pages of actors endorsing him in this book, which is kind of interesting
Yeah.
to have testimonials of
Hmm.
actors here saying that he's a swell guy, and you should you should really buy it. You should buy this
Yeah.
book because he knows what he's saying. Even Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks,
Oh.
which were a pretty big deal at the time, are endorsing his book here. So,
It's
so
interesting
basically,
because I feel like nowadays you wouldn't have so many male celebrities endorse. I mean, we know that male celebrities wear makeup in movies, but it's so
hmm
downplayed. Uh,
yeah.
Whereas in this one, they're just like, yeah, I had to put somebody's got to put makeup on me,
Oh
no
yeah.
matter
Oh
man,
yeah.
woman, anything. I think that's
Also, I mean, I
kind of cool.
think, yeah. Also, looking at this, there was a lot of character actors, and
Yeah.
they prided themselves in actually being able to portray all different characters without you knowing it was them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one that did a lot of this was Lon Chaney. Lon Chaney, like
Yeah.
he could be any character. Here he is, right here, trying to. Uh, be a Chinese character.
Oh
So this
boy.
is, yeah, this
Oh
is Long,
wow.
yeah, this is Long
Uh,
Chaney. Um, not recognizable at all as Long Chaney,
yeah.
but yeah, he would
That's so
be,
crazy.
be really into making himself like a totally different different
Yeah, I
persona
mean
with the
he
makeup.
did all kinds of
He
characters,
did,
like obviously
all
we're
kinds of
glad that we're not
characters. Yeah.
making
Yes.
ourselves up to look Asian or
Oh
anything
no.
like that anymore. Thank
N-
goodness we are
not at
not doing
all.
that. But yeah, that
Not
was
at
so
all.
common at the time
Oh,
for
very much so.
people to be doing that. Yeah.
Very much so. And the actors also had it, like all the male actors wore makeup and
Hmm.
eyeliner and everything. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
like you can see here. This is like a normal male makeup for uh, and you can
Yeah.
see how different it looks, his face, and then when he's made up, he has everything on,
Can you move
really,
it a little bit more
lipstick.
towards the center, Gabriella? Kind of like right in front of your face almost.
There, there,
I think
there.
so. Yeah.
Can you
Oh,
see it there?
wow. Yeah, I can see some over there. And thanks for, as you can see, guys, we're still kind of half in the studio, half at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, that's like such a difference.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted to
Yeah.
really do, they did a lot of character makeup, and this is another one, like if they wanted to do like Old Man in the Sea kind of thing, so an
Hmm.
older gentleman kind of thing, when they weren't old, so
Yeah.
changing somebody around. This
Yeah.
technique here is still used. This technique of doing a beard here.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you can see that, of how
Yeah.
he did a beard and mustache on himself there.
Hmm.
That's still something that it's a really great skill to have if you're an actor. But the older people in the union still, they know how to do this, and they teach it to other stylists. It's really quite a great skill to actually know how to lay the hair correctly so that it looks natural when you're
Yeah.
when you're looking at it. Preparing it and putting it on, all of these things are really, really a great skill to have. And but all these people learn this, obviously. They learn how to do it, and how to change their appearance. Like on this one, you can see kind of how he's trying to change his nose around
Hmm.
to change the appearance and that. So a lot of different techniques of doing character work are kind of in this book, doing different types of characters, uh, and how to portray them, and what works and what doesn't work,
Huh.
uh, how to do eyes that, when you're supposed to be blind,
Oh,
things like that. So they go into all kinds of things.
wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they kind of, in order to do that, what they used to do is they it was kind of like a cataract on your eye, how you get like a filmy kind of look to it. So what they
Yeah.
did is they used an eggshell, the inside of an eggshell. They took
That very thin
that thin
membrane.
membrane from it, and they used that on their eye. And
Would they put it on their actual eye? Like on
yeah,
their eyeball?
yeah, they cut it to the shape of like a lozenge or something, enough to cover the eyeball, and then somebody would put it over
So they'd
your
like make
eye.
a contact of it, kind of
Kind
contact
of,
lens.
yes, kind of,
Wow.
yeah. That's what they did with it, and it was really, it looks quite convincing though, if they,
Yeah.
if it was done well. But it's obviously it wouldn't have been like very comfortable for the
Yeah,
actor,
not fun
but
for the actor, I don't think.
no, not fun at all for the actor.
No.
But it definitely worked well as far as like actually looking like somebody that couldn't see,
Yeah.
because it looked very convincing. So, so it's really interesting, and obviously this book, they were using Max Factor, so all the makeup you see, there's an ad for Max Factor in the back of
Yeah.
this book, so. So you can see who was supplying a lot of the makeup for that Metro Golden Mayer at the time,
Yeah.
because there is an ad for Max Factor in the book itself. So obviously that was something that was part of what they were doing. So this is a very interesting little book. I have a lot of interesting insight on how they used to do makeup, and if you want more information on it, let me know, and I'll be glad to pass it along.
Yeah, and also,
Yeah.
if you aren't following Gabriela on her own Instagram, which is at Besame Girl, she'll be posting little pieces of these books, and pictures of them on there, so you can get more of a close-up look at that if you like. Yeah, Louisa asked, I wonder how many actors now know how to do these makeup things, and
Not
not
a
too
lot.
many.
Not a lot. Actually, I would say a lot of them don't anymore, because they're just not in charge of that
Yeah.
anymore. It's one of those things that kind of those jobs got separated. So there's the hairstylist and the makeup artists and other people that are involved in productions now that before weren't there. So the actor was really kind of more on their own. The ones that do a lot of their own makeup, though, surprisingly, is the people that do theater still. The
Yeah.
people on Broadway
Mm-hmm.
that do the theatrical shows still actually do their own makeup. So they're the
Yeah.
ones that actually are still following this old tradition of theater makeup, and continuing to do their own character makeup. They do have a designer that
Mm-hmm.
that that helps with the overall design of the show and what the makeup is supposed to look like, and can train them a bit on how to do different things if they're more complicated makeup. But then the day-to-day makeup is actually something they do themselves.
Yeah. Definitely. It's only the
Yeah.
very, sometimes if a movie star does Broadway, they'll hire somebody to do their makeup.
Yes.
But for the most part,
Yes.
even the stars, yeah, they just do it themselves and yeah,
Yes.
apply that
Yes.
themselves.
Yeah. In Broadway, yes, they still do, and a lot of shows they still do. But when it comes to TV and movies, it's just gotten kind of delegated to other departments and other things. So the actors don't really do unless they want to. I know that Joan Collins used to do her own makeup,
Oh,
and was really adamant about doing her own makeup when she was doing TV shows and films, because she
that's
had a way that
interesting.
she liked it, and it worked for the camera, and so they let her do it. Um, but it's because she kind of insisted on it. But
Yeah.
I don't think most actors now necessarily do anymore.
No, not none
Because
I can think of off the top of my head for sure.
yeah, not
For
too
film
many.
and TV.
Yeah, not anymore. I don't think so. Um, but it's a great skill if you know how to do it. I mean, actresses in the past, they kind of they studied their face, and they knew their face, and they did it because they knew kind of what their good angles were and where they wanted shading and other things. So they did it because they thought that they could do it better than somebody
Yeah.
that was coming in cold. So a lot of actresses did their own makeup. Like Marilyn Monroe, for example, she did her own a lot of times. She did have Whitey. To do her makeup. So he did a lot of the makeup as well. But if not, she knew how to do it herself as well. Marlene Dietrich also was known to do her own makeup as well because she was very much kind of into how her face looked the best and how she wanted to do that. So she did it too, I think, as well.
I had a real quick question. What lipstick are you wearing today?
I'm wearing Red Hot Red.
Oh, cool. Red Hot Red.
So, yes.
I'm wearing What a Peach with the warm red liner from the Lucy's pencil set. Yay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Little lipstick corner. It's always fun
Yes.
to hear. see what it is. Cool. What do you have next for us?
I have this really cool McCall's from September of 1952, which is really cool here. The ad on the back is so, look at the expression on this lady's face on there. Very.
What is she selling? Is that a cleaning
She's
powder?
selling she's selling cleanser. She's selling cleanser. She's so
happy about it.
So happy about the cleanser. But yeah, there's so many really neat things in this particular things like the suits, of course. I mean, they had the most beautiful suits on here. Look at this suit, just so nice. Beautiful suits. But it's interesting because this is from 1952, and we're right now talking about schools and the issue with going back to school or not, and then I look in this magazine and there's a huge story on Save Our Schools.
Yeah.
If you can see that. And it's people arguing about really the same things that we're arguing about now, about using public funds in schools, or having
classroom sizes,
buildings being updated and not being fixed, and all these things. So the same problems, different year. So,
yeah.
It was pretty interesting that we had the same things in here. Of course, the fashions and the dresses are here, just so lovely.
Oh gosh,
I know. It's like
so pretty.
These are just so pretty.
It's so neat to see too, because it's a little more closely tailored than I tend to think of as the 50s, but it's, there's still just so much, there's just so many more variations to all the decades, than what we kind of see in the movies based on the times and all that stuff.
Oh, yes. And then, of course, we have a lot of recipes, which is like, look at this breakfast spread right here.
Oh, wow.
This is supposed to be breakfast. So that's a lot of breakfast in here.
Are those deviled eggs? Or what's that red thing?
They're actually eggs that are baked into a tomato.
Oh.
So you have to like see it like
okay.
Like, you like make empty the tomatoes and then put egg in there and then bake
funny.
that. Yeah,
and that's like, your breakfast. There you
Imagine how early you have to get up to make all of this. Obviously you had a lot of time. This one is very interesting. Like, obviously these people are trying to sell peas.
That is a huge bowl of peas. Are those what are the little skewer things in there?
Meat. It's like
just meat in a huge vat of peas.
Yeah, it's like pork rolls with peas, but there's like a lot more peas than pork rolls in here.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. Of course, the Jello, in the 1950s, the Jello molds were all the rage.
Ooh, and it's a Jello salad, right?
Yes.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. Look at all the Jello.
Does that use
all kinds of stuff?
Does it say if it uses like celery Jello or any of those kind of odd savory sort of Jellos? I guess it doesn't say, but
it
still.
Doesn't actually say the flavor. It does say here. The large one here is a vegetable salad mold, and it's a lemon Jello.
Oh.
So it's lemon Jello. and then it has lima beans, celery, onion, vinegar, salt,
Oh,
Worcestershire sauce. Oh gosh. Okay, and tomato.
oh, wow.
I know. It's like
Whew.
wow. Woo.
Well,
Yeah,
that
that's
hasn't come back. There's one
no.
thing
Oh
that's.
no. It's interesting this magazine because it has a lot of kitchen decor and ideas, different colors of
Oh, that's
kitchens.
cute.
Yeah, so it has recipes, kitchen, stories, and fashion. Uh, like fictional stories,
Uh huh.
and and then product advertisements, but also a lot of furniture. This is kind of really interesting because it shows you kind of a layout of a room with the
Oh,
furniture, which is
that's
kind of
pretty.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. So you can see how what kind of furniture and how they laid out the different kinds of room setups.
Mm-hmm.
Furniture salesman. So anything that had to do with the home, I guess.
Yeah.
Even like egg beaters,
Uh
beating
huh. Yeah.
from beating things. So machines. Um, uh, to carpeting. I mean, anything that was something of the home
Mm-hmm.
was in this magazine, as well as some fashion and then some stories, for like fictional stories. Um, and then then there's a little dry skin thing with how to cleanse the face if you have drier skin,
Oh,
by Erno Laszlo there. So a little tiny kind of thing explaining how to wash the face.
and is that
And
more techniques of washing or a
yes,
specific
it is
cream?
techniques. No, it's techniques because it's telling you to like start with a oil soaked cotton pad and cleanse the
Mm-hmm.
skin with oil first, and then use a kind of a mild soap and splash your face with water and use the soap on top of that and
Mm-hmm.
lather it and then use oil again to clean your face
Oh,
after you
wow.
you wash it with soap and then blot it with tissue to remove the excess oil, and then use the cream foundation after that. So this is, I guess, in the morning before you put on your makeup. So after you did that, you would put your cream foundation and then powder on top.
I
So
see.
so it was like a multiple kind of step thing just to cleanse the face,
Mm-hmm.
which was kind of interesting because we do that now, but not
Yeah.
as many you know uh,
Yeah,
as many
maybe not
steps maybe.
2 oils during the day
Yeah,
usually, but
yeah, maybe not
you
in
never
the. Yeah,
know.
I mean, a lot of people are into like two-step cleansing now with
Oh,
with
yeah.
oils and that. But usually you do it in the evening, and this is actually a morning thing before you put on your makeup. So
Yeah.
that's a lot more. Uh, and then there's other advertisements like for Pond's and using Pond's to cleanse the skin. So this one is
Mm-hmm.
is about Pond's and cleansing the skin. So that one, it's telling you something else because obviously they're selling a different cream. Uh, but kind of interesting. The color schemes are really interesting. The 50s,
Yeah.
this is like really reddish looking
Wow.
here. Yeah, and this one with with a blue countertop on there.
Wow, that just red and blue and orange.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, a lot of primaries and a lot of primary colors. A lot, you know, very very mod. This one I don't know what it is that they're hanging on the wall, but it looks like dishes with stuff on it. But I don't know, it's some kind of a art display or something on that
Mm-hmm.
wall. Kind of
And
an
can you move it
interesting.
over to this? It's just the magazine's so huge. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, the other way. Oh, there we go. Yeah, just seeing pieces of that. Oh, that's
yeah. Do you
interesting.
see that? Like it's kind of like dishes on the wall with like dolls or something. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure what they're doing there, but yeah, it's kind of interesting to look at the the home setups and the architecture and that, and how they did this one has a huge, like, the TV kind of swivels in this area. It's kind of really neat. If you
Ooh.
could see that. Can you see the
Oh, you can see
TV?
little pieces of it. You can pull it back towards you a little bit because the magazine's so big. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, can you see
Yeah, you
like
can kind of see there.
the TV kind of swivels on
Ah.
that thing there, and then there's a huge hood on top of the kitchen there
And
that's
yeah, these
blue,
colors with just these, yeah, blues and
blues, and
these
yeah,
orangey reds and
yeah, it's kind of really interesting, interesting colorways in this house. So
yeah.
it's kind of fun to look at these magazines because you can kind of get an idea of what people's homes look like and what they ate and other things like this, uh, and also by
Yeah.
the by the stories that are in here too. There's also like a kind of an advice column that's really
Oh.
interesting by actually by Eleanor Roosevelt. So Eleanor Roosevelt had
Oh.
an advice columns in this and it was called "If You Ask Me." So this is Eleanor
Ooh.
Roosevelt with her column, "If You Ask
Oh,
Me."
that's cool. I
Isn't
had
that
no
great?
idea.
Yeah, so she, and people would ask her, different things, why did you do this? Or
Uh-huh.
can you explain? Some of them was actually political things. Other ones are not, you know. So it's like in photographs of your home, I've never noticed any modern furniture or paintings. Is it because you dislike them? So people ask her personal questions,
Just yeah, ask
do you
interior
love,
design advice to
yeah,
the
why do
former
you
first
not
lady.
have, so anyways, so things like that, it's very, very kind of interesting what questions they would print, like why did you go visit, this person, or things like this,
Wow.
um, so I it's kind of interesting to see. It's like, did you know anything about your husband's reported plan to establish a new party of liberal Republicans and Democrats with Wendell Wilkie? So it's like political things that they just ask her,
Wow.
like she would be able to answer this on a magazine. So of course she says, I don't know anything about any plan. I don't know anything. I have no idea. It's just kind of interesting to see. So it says, my 18-year-old son confessed to me recently that he deliberately failed his intelligence test to avoid military service. I'm desperately upset about this, but I don't know what to do. Can you help me? So she says, I'm afraid there's nothing I can do.
That's it.
I'm afraid not.
Sorry
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a question between you and your son. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
She was pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
You
figure it
know?
out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the reason for his action lies in a background which only you and he know anything about. Wow.
Wow. What are you
Talk
asking
about,
me for? Pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah. Wow. You
Figure it
raised
out.
them. You figure it out. Yeah.
You raised
She
it.
was, yeah, she was pretty straightforward, this lady.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Louisa asked that, do you think it's because after World War II that people wanted all of these kind of like brighter colors and fashions in their home design?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it had to do a lot with what was happening with colors all the way around, because you saw the same kind of very strong colors in makeup as well. Because
Yeah.
if you look at shadows in the 50s, you see like really strong blues, strong,
Mm-hmm.
you know, greens and fuchsia
And
and
lip
pinks.
colors, our
Lip
brightest
lip
lip
colors
colors
are,
are the ones from
yes.
the 50s.
Oh yeah, they're definitely, everything was very bright,
Mm-hmm.
and very kind of in your face kind of thing, and I think it had to do with wanting to be noticed, because all the fashions and the makeup was really for women to be noticed by men, because everybody was trying to find husbands at that point, and make families. So I think the fashion and the makeup kind of went into actually getting the woman to be as womanly as possible to attract to attract, the opposite sex. So
Mhm.
I think the use of color and also the design of the dresses with like the really small waist, bras that really brought out the top area and
Mhm.
the breasts, and then very full skirts that all drew the eye. It was all to call attention to the womanly figure. And the same with the makeup, with the darker lashes and the darker
Mhm.
brows and the larger lips. So I think color was definitely part of that as well,
Yeah.
to be brighter, and more attractive. So yes, I definitely think so. Uh, and remember, after this, Technicolor came out in the late 30s,
Yeah.
and Technicolor made everything in the movies also really, really bright,
Mhm.
and it was like almost blindingly bright. And I think the attractiveness of that maybe got transferred over to fashion and also home decor, because
Yeah.
those colors also were seen in very popular films at the same time.
That's great.
So,
Wonderful. All right.
so yeah, so that's so yeah, so I this is my McCall's there. There's a lot of I have a bunch of vintage magazines, Vogues and McCall's and
Oh, wow.
other types of magazines from different periods. I have some that are really really old, actually, that were also women's magazines, that I can bring for next time if you're interested in seeing something that is a lot older than this publication
I'm
here.
sure.
But yes, that's just some of the books I have.
Yeah, just a tiny bit for sure.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yay. Oh, that's so cool. I love the range of that too. That was so great. Um, Thank you guys so much for watching. If you ever have things you specifically want to see, you can leave them in the comments, or you can also, again, follow Gabriela on her Instagram at Besame Girl, or follow us at Besame Cosmetics, and let us know if there's anything in particular, because Gabriela has so much knowledge and so many neat things. We're always happy to share those with you. And thank you, Gabriela, so much. That was so fun. I love that. I'm
Oh,
gonna go
thank
make
you.
a Jello salad,
Oh, yes.
vinegar and Worcester sauce, and
Yes.
be right back. All
Okay.
right. Thank you guys so much. Have a good
Thank
day.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.